Namaste, Hamisha Kushro Bitia. I am JVN Dr. Minakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today in this session, we will discuss the viral corneal ulcers. The We have already discussed the bacterial corneal ulcer, the mycotic corneal ulcer. Now we will discuss the viral corneal ulcer. So, the incidence of viral corneal ulcer has become much greater, especially because of the role of antibiotics in eliminating the pathogenic bacterial flora. Most of the viruses lead to affect the epithelium of both conjunctiva and cornea. Hence, the typical viral lesions constitute the viral keratoconjunctivitis. The common viral infections include the herpes simplex keratitis, herpes zoster ophthalmicus, and also the adenovirus keratitis. So, first we will discuss the herpes simplex keratitis. The ocular infections with herpes simplex virus HSV are extremely common and constitute the herpetic keratoconjunctivitis and iritis. The etiology of the herpes simplex keratitis is the herpes simplex virus. It is a DNA virus. Its only natural host is man. Basically, the HSV is epitheliotropic but may become the neurotropic. According to the different clinical and immunological properties, HSV is of two types, HSV type 1 and HSV type 2. The HSV type 1 typically causes infection above the waist and HSV type 2 below the waist. That's why it's called the herpes genitalis. HSV 2 has also been reported to cause the ocular lesions. Then the mode of infection of the herpes simplex keratitis. The HSV1 infection, it is acquired by kissing or coming in close contact with a patient suffering from herpes labialis. Second is the HSV second infection. It is transmitted to the eyes of the neonates through infected genitalia of the mother. Then the ocular lesions of herpes simplex. The ocular involvement by the HSV occurs in two forms, the primary and recurrent. The first is the primary herpes. There will be skin lesions, conjunctiva will show the acute follicular conjunctivitis, and cornea may have the fine epithelial punctate keratitis, coarse epithelial punctate keratitis, or dendritic ulcer. And in the second form is the recurrent herpes, which have the active epithelial keratitis, which are um, punctate epithelial keratitis, dendritic ulcer, or geographical ulcer. Second is the stromal keratitis, which may be disciform keratitis or diffuse stromal necrotic keratitis. Third are the metaherpetic keratitis or metaherpetic iridocyclitis. Then first are the primary ocular herpes. We'll discuss that. Primary infection means the first attack involves a non-immune person. It typically occurs in children below 6 months and between 6 months and 5 years of age, and in teenagers. Then the clinical features of primary ocular herpes are the skin lesions. They are the vesicular lesions may occur involving the skin of lids, periorbital region, and the lid margin. It is called the vesicular blepharitis. Second, the acute follicular conjunctivitis with regional lymphadenitis is the usual and sometimes the only manifestation of the primary infection. third is the keratitis. Cornea is involved in about 50% of the cases. The keratitis can occur as a coarse punctate or diffuse branching epithelial keratitis that does not usually involve the stroma. Primary infection is usually self-limiting, but the virus travels up to the trigeminal ganglion and establishes the latent infection. Second is the recurrent ocular herpes. The virus which lies dormant in the trigeminal ganglion periodically reactivates and causes the recurrent infection. The predisposing stress stimuli which trigger an attack of the herpetic keratitis include the fever such as malaria, flu, exposure to ultraviolet rays, general ill health, emotional or physical exhaustion, mild trauma, menstrual stress following the administration of topical or systemic steroids and immunosuppressive agents. Then here is the epithelial keratitis. Epithelial keratitis, that first is the punctate epithelial keratitis. The initial epithelial lesions of recurrent herpes resemble those seen in primary herpes and may be either in the form of fine or coarse superficial punctate lesions. Then the dendritic ulcer. The dendritic ulcer is a typical lesion of recurrent epithelial keratitis. The ulcer is of irregular, zigzag, linear branching shape, and the branches are generally knobbed at the ends. The floor of the ulcer stains with fluorescent and the virus-laden cells at the margin. The take-up rose Bengal. There is an associated marked diminution of corneal sensations. Next is the geographical ulcer. Sometimes the branches of dendritic ulcer enlarge and coalesce to form a large epithelial ulcer with a geographical or amoeboid configuration. Hence the name geographical ulcer is used. The use of steroids in dendritic ulcer hastens the formation of geographical ulcer. The symptoms of epithelial keratitis are photophobia, lacrimation, and pain. Then there is the treatment of the epithelial keratitis. They have the specific treatment of antiviral drugs, mechanical debridement of the involved area. Then there is stromal keratitis. The it is the first is the disciform keratitis. The endothelial damage results in the corneal edema due to imbibition of the aqueous humor. The signs of disciform keratitis are the focal disc-shaped patch of stromal edema without necrosis, the folds in Descemet's membrane, keratic precipitates, a ring of stromal infiltrate, which is also called a Wesley immune ring, may be present surrounding the stromal edema. Then corneal sensations are diminished. Intraocular pressure may be raised despite only mild anterior uveitis. And then the treatment of the this disciform keratitis is diluted steroid eye drops instilled 4 to 5 times a day with an antiviral cover like a cyclover 3% twice a day. Is and lesions of the recurrent herpes simplex keratitis, which we have discussed earlier. Then next here, diffuse stromal necrotic keratitis. It is a type of interstitial keratitis by active virus invasion and tissue destruction. The Symptoms are pain, photophobia, and redness. The signs are present as necrotic, blotchy, cheesy white infiltrates that may lie under the epithelial ulcer or may present independently under the intact epithelium. The treatment of diffuse stomal necrotic keratitis is the keratoplasty. It should be deferred until the eye has been quiet with little or no steroidal treatment for several months. Thank you so much. This session completes here. As part of the viral habit, corneal ulcer we will discuss in the next session. Thank you so much. This session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you're satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. We will resolve it soon. Thank you so much.